I knew it. Another Hurrdat Media Production.
How are you, gorgeous? You're so fit and I need muscles back.
Well, I'm also a nutritionist, so I have to work it and look the part. So that these podcasts are actually my side jobs. Being a nutritionist, you know how it is.
I have 20 hats. I have 20 jobs. This is not working. It's great. I'm a mess today, girl.
Look, are you kidding me? I got on to my producer and I was like, do I own a comb? What's happening here? I can feel my extension.
That's where half my extensions are rolling down my head. I'm like, okay.
I can see it. I can feel it. The other day before I got him in, it was literally down here, flapping against my chin. And I'm like, this is a fucking, this should not be happening right now. At all.
This is a nightmare.
I'm so happy to see you.
You too. I know. I feel like we've been trying to do this for ever.
That's right. The best things are worth the wait, I feel like.
I know. In the meantime, we became friends. I'm like, it started with a podcast, hello. And then it was wait, so
I got
sick. How's your mom and them? How are your kids? Wait, how was your trip?
You're sick. Are you feeling better? Now my fucking kids are sick. You know what, too?
Did you have soup today?
What can I bring you? Even though I really can't bring you anything, but can I ask if I can bring you anything? And Barry better be stepping up as Nurse Ratchet. Oh my God. But isn't it insane? When we get sick, it's not a little bit. We get hit with a Mack truck to the face.
So what happened was my daughter and these young ones, they get hit, they keep going, right? So she had a cough and a headache. And Barry always says, you take on whatever the kids have, whatever's happening with the kids, you take it on times 10. So I took on whatever she had, and it was literally times 10, and it hit me. I've never been that sick in my life. I was down.
You were down.
It was so bad.
And then the guys get a paper cut, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm dying."
If you were this sick, we'd be planning a funeral. It'd be awful.
I'm like, you're such a pussy to my husband. I'm like, could you imagine? You couldn't carry a child for a day, let alone 10 months. And then shove it out of your vagina.
No.
Ever. They are it doesn't matter if they're 4 or 40 or 50 or 60.
That's what I tell Barry. I'm like, I did not shove a baby out of there. I shoved it out of my butt. I feel like that. I swear to God.
Totally. You know what? You know why I'm even happier about this? Because actually, I don't even know I told Reagan. So when your show was coming on, I'm like, no. And I watch all Bravo, right? And I always have for ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And when you guys came on, I was like, I'm good. I feel like I've seen it. I have the original Southern Charm. Right. I was like, I don't need this. And you know what? I was even telling, who was I telling? Corey, somebody from the current Winter House. And I was having them on. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't want to watch your show because I had seen Winter House 1. And I just felt like I knew what I was getting.
Right.
And it was almost the same with you guys. And then started talking to Reagan. And she was like, let's do this. And I was like, fuck. Okay. Now I need to know. Because I don't want to be one of those people where you come on and you have someone on and you have no knowledge. You're just asking the questions and then you move on and there's no real conversation.
Right. There's no answer. Right. You don't know what's going on. Right.
And you know how it is interviewing and all this stuff.
Yeah. Interview people are I do nothing. I got to pretend. And that sucks. I want to know all the things,
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like people get they see it when you're just trying to fake it till you make it when you're doing things like this.
Yeah.
Right. They can siphon out and they can tell. So I was like, shit. So I'm like, okay, kids, work. I literally binge your guys' whole series. And then, I don't think I even told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, I feel like a dick. I was wrong. And I will fully admit that I was wrong because I was so in love with it. I would say up till 3 a.m. watching
it. It's so good. It's the funny thing was, it's literally legit our life. This show, I know people look, I know people can be overproduced. I know I've seen it, right? Like I feel like some housewife shows, there's like really nothing going on, and it's all about fashion and like sitting down at a table drinking wine and they're producing this like fake fight.
Right.
Like this was real. I mean, literally, like Reagan and I, after season 2, we didn't speak for a year. I don't know if she told you that, but we didn't speak for a year.
I mean, we did not know that.
And so we were like, we didn't know if season 3 was coming and whatever. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to film with her because she's not talking. I was like, it was bad. I mean, at the end, she was like, you chose Jeff over me, and I can't believe you did that. She was so hurt. She's like, we've been friends for so long. I can't believe you chose Jeff. And I was like, but you lied to me all season. And it was just we just like did not speak for a year. And I forget where we were or how it happened. I'm sure it was through a ladies' lunch or one of our mutual friends. And I think it was 18. It was it was almost like close to COVID. And it was just like, we just like hadn't talked. And we just got real. We had a real sit down moment, had a glass of champagne, a bottle actually. And we just went in. And she was like, I was so mad at you. And it's so funny because no one's ever really like, I'm so honest and so like, upfront. And I'm like, no one should get mad at you because you know where you stand with me, right? Like, and I want to know all the things. I want to know why you're upset and how can I help this? And you're either in my life or you're not. And so for her to just be so upset with me, I was like, what did I do? She's like, you chose Jeff. Like, I didn't choose Jeff. It was just you were not available. Anyway, so
wait,
it was
was it like when this is a year and you guys were like sisters, you guys were best friends at any point? I mean, that had to have been hard for you. Or were you just I'm moving on? Like you have to just cut people sometimes to survive and to live your life.
I had cut her. Okay. So, I mean, I guess we're far enough away. I can like talk about all the things, but we're removed from it, meaning like with production stuff. I was at her finale party.
Right.
With her. Like we were fine after we filmed. We were filmed and we were fine. We were fine. Like I stood in the wedding. She had Reese. Reese is my favorite little girl in the world. And we were fine. And I'm with her family at the, it was a finale party. And in the end, okay, so I forget how the ending happened. The ending that we shot, there was a whole nother scene that was never shown. It was a masquerade party that I threw. It was like a matchmaking masquerade party.
Matchmaking.
Which is funny because that's what I do now. And people are like, you're a matchmaker? I'm like, girl, I'm everything. I'm so ADD, by the way. This whole podcast would be like, pew, pew, pew.
That's me. I'll be like, yo, well, how's the weather? But like, how did you have sex with him? But wait, did you see what happened on Days of Our Lives? But you guys like hooked up? I mean, that's so me. But listen, that's because we're like badass working moms and we have 100 things going on at one time.
It's crazy. So what happened was we had a whole nother party that was filmed. It was a matchmaking masquerade ball. I thought that was great. It was a great end to the season. So I thought they never showed it. They ended it with Reagan's wedding. And then it was me and Jeff at the very, very end. We had filmed that whole part months after.
Of being like, you come to his house and you guys are like besties now.
That was so far. It was such a later, we were all fine. And I was friends with Reagan and I was friends with Jeff. We separately, and it was fine. Barry was friends with Reagan. Everybody was friends, but like separately. And so I didn't think it was a big deal that I was still friends with Jeff. I didn't think it was a big deal. And I think that she really had a problem with, like when she watched it, I didn't even know it was coming. And so we were watching it and I'm like, oh my God, they ended it with me and Jeff being besties. And it was just.
Why did they want you guys to film after you guys had wrapped? Why so long after did they want you and Jeff to film that scene?
I think there was no button on. I think after they had kind of seen some footage and like the season and the arcs of how things went, because the season took a left turn. It was supposed to be one thing, and I think it went like no one realized that. Episode 1, that she was like lying to me about being, not lying to me, I should say. She withheld information about being engaged or having whatever it was, the divorce, all that stuff.
Right.
And so that's how it started. So I think the whole season was just like, it went like, it just went off the rails. And so it just turned into this And then, you know, so then there was that whole thing. And then in between this, Kelsey's still trying to be my friend. I'm like, Kelsey, I don't have time for you and your bullshit. Like, I'm about you. And you're like,
I feel so bad for her.
You and Justin, y'all, whatever. Okay. Like, give me a second. Let me get with Reagan.
So literally, stupid. Give me a second.
Like hold up, girl. She's like, but you don't like. I'm like, I can't. I cannot.
I like totally feel you, and I felt you, and then I was like, this poor girl. She does not seem to can.
She keeps being like, but I'm like, it's okay. I don't have to like you. Like, I respect you. It's fine. I think you're so annoying. I don't have to like you. I'm not. Just leave it alone. But you keep coming for it.
She really wanted you to like her. She like was really wanting that.
It's so funny. It's so funny. I saw Kelsey Friday. We were at a wedding together. They're funny. They have a baby together. They're still together.
Oh my God.
I did say that he was never going to marry her. So I was still right about that. So
they got a baby though.
Yeah, they have a baby.
Oh, how old? 2?
No. She is maybe, I think about to be 1, like within the year. Yeah. Like, she's so cute. I know. Yeah.
But they're freaking really not still married?
No. I still am always right. I will say that.
But why are we like not married?
I don't know. Ask the matchmaker. And nobody wants to ask me this, but you know, he won't. I don't know. I don't think he will marry her. I've said it since day one. I don't. I'm not a mean girl. I'm a girl's girl. I'm the one that's like if you look in hindsight, you look back at it. I said it really bad. It came across really bad, and you know, there's a lot of champagne flowing that night, and I say things direct. But in hindsight, I was looking out for her. I'm like, why are you doing the most? You moved to New Orleans to be with a guy who doesn't really know. He's giving you all the things, but except for the one thing you want. And I get it. If they don't want to get married, great. I don't care. I don't give it like shit. I don't care. But she wanted a ring. She kept trying on my ring. She's trying on rings. She wanted a ring. And I'm like, you're not going to. So I'm asking Justin, are you ever going to marry her? And he's like, and I'm like, what are you doing? So I'm just like, I'm kind of a girl's girl thinking, you got to open
your time.
Up a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're happy. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me if like at this point, but I am right. I was right.
Do you think it's her or he's just like, I don't want to be married to anybody?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Because you know his mama. Remember what his mama said?
No, and I will say, and I've said it before. I said she's no Dottie. Dottie is a force. Dottie is Miss New Orleans. Okay, I want to grow up to be Dottie when I grow up. That woman runs the city, and she's no Dottie. And I think that's what he wants, a Dottie.
And because they're close. Remember I remember they're sitting there having lunch, and she's like, "Don't ever waste a woman's time."
Right.
Don't ever waste a woman's time.
Yeah. I mean, look, she loves, everybody loves everybody. No one's like going anywhere. If one person wants marriage and one person doesn't, that's a mismatch of communication. And I would say as a matchmaker now in this life, the job I have now is just, I just wouldn't, you got to move on. You got to move forward, move along, keep it moving. Cause it's been years, you know what I mean? Like, and we're grown and we have the job, we have the money, we're stable. There's what are you waiting on? So it's
we're not like 22 anymore.
Like, what are you doing? So
yeah, we're not 22. It's sad. Yeah. It's like, look at like they don't know. And then, when I was talking to Reagan, Tamica, like I was so sad for her, like sitting here listening to like her trying to figure out how to deal with this and like navigate a divorce now, like another one. And now like Jeff was hard to divorce, but now it's like, you thought this was your man, like forever man, you have 2 kids. And now like you have to navigate this divorce with kids, and it was sad, like listening to her. And I was like, do you think you're going to, she's like, we keep kind of going back and forth and back and forth. And I was like, well, are the people in your life? And I'm definitely thinking you, because, you're like probably one of the most outspoken ones in her life. I'm like, are they just like, make it work? And that's why you keep hanging on. And she's like, hell no. They are like be done, be done, be done. Peace. Totally.
She needs, Reagan's one of the smartest, people, I think people see her and you have all the assumptions, she's just, it's a lot. The voice is a lot. She comes with a lot. She looks like a bitch. And then you all the things. I always tell her, you look like a bitch and intimidating, like you're the meanest person ever. But she's actually the nicest person ever. And I know her on a whole other level, in a whole other way. And she really is a smart, great woman. And everything she does at its best. Like the girl, I'm gonna go to law school, and now she's she's like a lawyer, and she's a jewelry maker, and she can cook in the kitchen like every Black mama can in New Orleans. And she's a good friend. She's everything really great and really well. And I think that that's what she wanted for her marriage. She was like, well, everything else is on, on trend and on this pattern. And so it's like the one thing she can't get right. I'm like, it's like the one thing.
What? And again, she's like, we're all like the same. We're like, you work and you make it work and you succeed. So to have something like that where you're like, I'm working for it. Why? What's happening here? Where's the disconnect? Well,
and I will say, and there's no shade to Reese, because I do like Reese, and there's not shade to him. He's decent. I feel like when you in a relationship, how you start, how you finish. And I always say, meaning if you cook for your husband, if you wake up every morning and make him coffee, you better be doing that shit for 20 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the moment you don't, something's different, whatever. She is she's so much in the beginning. It's so much. And and I think she holds and held, she did everything. She ran everything. And you can only do that for so much when you're trying to be a mom, trying to keep your businesses together, trying to go to law school, trying to finish, and at some point you need your partner to man up, come through. And I think that's kind of where the fall was, because when she was just I'm exhausted, I need help in this area, family life, I think he just did not step up to the plate as he should. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, and so they kind of, it got hard, and it happens. And she'll beat herself up. She's like, I don't want to be divorced the second time. I'm like, girl, move on. This is your life, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want to be. I mean, there's nothing more miserable than being miserable in a relationship. You're way too free for that. No, move on. If you're not happy, move on.
It was sad. I read, and I'm sure you can. I'm curious as to your take to it. I was reading somewhere and someone said no relationships are 50-50. One time you're an 80 and they're a 20. But when you're 20, you need them to be an 80. And
that's the problem. Right. And so when there's multiple days like that, when you're both at 20, it starts to fall apart. So that's what happened. That's what happened. I don't think it's anybody's fault. I don't think anybody's finger pointing. It's just, I don't think there's anything really that bad that she had to get out of. I think it was just, it's life. And I think she has two really great kids and she wants to give them the best life. And I think that will happen and should happen without them living together.
Right. And it's, I was talking to her too, because I was just like, what can I say to kind of feel, it was really so real. And she was even
y'all had your podcast too. She had just come to this realization it was it was over and it was really happening, and that she decided, because I know she filed a while ago, but it was it just hit her at one point.
I think
right after we went to I think we had drinks and she was just wah. So
I know. And she's like, I'm sorry to mean, and it was just so I'm because I have two kids, a 4 and a 6-year-old. And it's I see it. And I'm from a family of divorce. My parents divorced when I was 5 and married when I was 6. And I've always said to anybody, when they're we're staying together for the kids, I'm had my parents stay together for the kids, I would have been so fucked.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Oh, you see me? Uh-oh.
You're good?
There you go. I see you. Are you good?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was had my parents stayed together, I would have been so fucked up, because you could tell, kids know. It's you want to stay together for the kids, but then you guys hate each other and they grow up and thinking that like mom and dad are always fighting and there's no love. It's like, that's not good.
No,
you know,
there's, what's the best situation? There's no right answer. There's just a right answer for you and your situation. And you can only do the best. I mean, we're all human. We're all little children in adult bodysuits trying to heal trauma from our childhood and then raise our own kids.
totally.
So, it's a lot of communication. And she talks, Reese and Rex are so sweet and they're great kids. And I mean, it's all about being open with them, and they can see and they can tell. Like kids always know, like you said. So
they're smart.
I don't know.
They're little shitheads, but they're freaking smart.
They're so cute. I don't even like kids and like at all. And I like love those kids.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I even told Reagan this either. After the episode, like a couple weeks at least. And like, I've had people that are on like right now, like a Marlo Hampton or like shows that are literally like on right now. And reality blurb that like, yeah. So, I mean, I'll send them clips from like all these interviews, and weeks after they reached out to me on Side Piece and they said, I can't tell you enough how much I loved that interview with Reagan.
Oh, I love that.
It was, and I can't tell you the last time they've said that. I mean, from even like current, like I said, current people that are going through like shit.
Well, because it's just, look, the show was a great show. We're real people, real Southern girls. And it's just, we have that charm. End of the story. Southern charm. That's what it was. We got cast for a reason. I'm telling you, when you really get to like that's what I'm saying. When you had a conversation, Reagan, you saw all of it. Like at the end, you were like, oh my God, I love her. Right. Like you were like, I get it. I love her. And that's the whole thing. No one really knows and gets that until you sit down and talk to her. It's just not talk to her.
I was like, when am I flying out to New Orleans? Like, when are you having? I literally was like, Pete, I'm flying out right now. I'm going to put your jewelry on and we're going to go out. We're getting Tamica. We're going to get drunk. And like, when are we making this happen? Like, I literally was like,
you should see when me and Reagan go out, it's like, there's like people just like are staring because we're just like, we do not care. We do not.
I really need to come out and go out with you guys. Like, I've never been to New Orleans. Never, ever. And then to hang out with all of us, like the town will shut down. Like it'll implode. I'm pretty sure. I was so sad watching it. And you're like, I want more. Why? Like what was it just like all the, like the divorce, the this, like what? Why don't you think, and I'm sure you get asked all the time, but why don't you think it didn't come back?
I think it's a lot of production, back end stuff. I don't think it had anything to do with us as a cast or the show. It was great. And it should be on right now, season 6 or 7. I think it was a lot to do with production.
Like, why doesn't another production company, there's so many production companies that do these shows on Bravo.
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, of course I know that they had as everything in TVs, there's a contract or like a non-compete or like you're tied down for so long. But that, I don't know the words for that. I mean, I'm not the lawyer part of it. I'm sure Megan would have that better word, but I think that's been lifted. Like it's been 3 years. So I mean, we could. I would have no problem with that. I would go back on television in a second. Like I mean, look, I love a light and a mic and a stage. I mean, I love attention. And I don't mind I put everything on Front Street because I'm like, no one is going to talk shit about me.
Right.
Ever. I'm going to give you all of it so that you don't talk about me. That's always been my motto my whole life. I'm going to put it all out there. So.
And you did. Like there was nothing that I was like,
yeah.
Right. Like with Reagan, you're like, what's hiding underneath that shirt? Literally. And then you're like, oh, she's pregnant. Like you are just like, do you feel, because you're so open, honest, straightforward, like a straight shooter, do you feel like, and sometimes they're like, it was a bad edit. And I'm like, but they can't edit differently what you say or you do. They can edit scenes and situations, but like, do you feel that you yourself like were depicted correctly, like on point?
Yes and no. My real friends cannot watch the show. They think that they're like, that's not you. Because the end. And there's that. So there's that part of it. Obviously that's me because I said it and I did it. And that was edit. Like you said, like that's a part of me.
Right.
There's so much more to me. And I think a lot of my friends, my family, they're like, oh, they want me to look like an angel, which I'm not. But my friends were like, your heart is just so big. Like you're such a enigma of a person and like such a light that I wish people could see that part of you. I'm 5'11". I'm loud. Like I come in.
You're 5'11", girl?
I am. With my joggers on. Yes.
If I were you, I would be walking naked down the streets of New Orleans every fucking day. And
well, I try during Mardi Gras. That's what I try. I'm like, oh my God, whenever we have a reason to put a costume on, I'm like, let's go. But no, I'm 5'11". I'm 5'11", and I still wear my 4-inch, 5-inch heels. That's why Reagan, if you ever look closely, and I should probably send a picture, whenever we take a picture together, she or whatever, she's like, I hate you, bitch. Because she has to wear
her heels.
Platform, like it's like stripper heels just to stand. And then she still looks like this. She's like, you're so fucking tall. Like it's so crazy. But yeah.
She's short, right?
She's actually like normal. She's like 5'7". She's tall.
Okay.
I'm like 5'11". I'm like, it's just, Barry's we're just like this big family.
How big is Barry? 6'2"?
Barry's like 6'4". My Hunter's now 6'5". Rainey is 5'10", 5'11". My daughter's like, we're all like skyscrapers. Yeah.
Why aren't you guys on like the like covers of magazines every freaking day? I mean,
so people are like, I wish that they would have shown your heart and your heart. I'm gonna do a lot with philanthropy. My son, my brother has Son of a Saint. We do a lot of charity work in the city. Like I'm a decent, nice person. I'm not always walking around like that. But I can be like that. And at moments at a party, at the if you give me 5 glasses of anything,
it's on.
I'm popping off, and especially if I don't want to be around certain people. So, and I'm like, God damn it, she's still around here. I'm like, Kelsey, can you go somewhere? Why are you still around here? Because normally I wouldn't have her in my life at the table, but here she is. So, and then normally with Reagan, we would have been through this in it'd have been 3, sit downs with her. But because it was television and because it was, and we made it a point not to talk to each other in between episodes as we were filming, because I was like, I didn't want it to be, I didn't want to take care of it all off camera. I was like, no, we're going to do this on camera. You want to hide some? Let's go. I'll see you at the next, sit down lunch next week. And so we didn't talk for the week, and then we'd sit down, and it was just like, so yes, it was me, but that's such a small part of who I am and where I am.
Heart. So that's why your friends were like, I know that you can't, anybody, by the way, can pop off, especially when you're drinking enough, champagne, right?
But it's funny because most reality TV stars, when they meet them, or when I've met reality TV stars, or what I hear, they're like, yeah, you're just like them. Oh my God. Everyone that has met me outside of that show says, oh my God, the real you is so much better. Like, you literally are not like the person I thought you were on television. So it's not one person says you're just like that. It's so weird. Yeah, it's so weird. But
is that when you hear that, are you like, yay? Are you like, or
it's television. It's entertainment.
What?
It's real, but it's also like they choose to show what you show you. But it's like social media. It's just like a social media page. I pick and choose what I want to show you. I'll edit the photo. It's going to be whatever. The show did exactly what social media does. They picking and choosing what part of you they want to show you. Right. So if you want to know Tamica, let's go fly to New Orleans. I'll come out to see you. We'll hang out. But that's how, other than that, I don't know what else to tell you. I can't, unless I don't know what to say. I mean, unless it was a show about my family and that was different. If you were in my house 24/7, maybe you see a different side of me, but yeah, it was in that group dynamic. Yeah, it was like that. That was my role in that group at that time. So yeah.
Especially most of your stuff is at a party, is at a dinner event, is at this. You like everyone says you're drinking,
how often do we do that? I mean, in New Orleans, we do it often. We do it a lot. But I mean, throughout the year, you're looking at we do it a lot. So, but yeah, it's, you know, it's sporadic times, you know, like once every 2-3 weeks. Yeah. So no, I'm not popping off at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. No, it's not like that.
So when you guys watched back season 1, were you like, fuck no, I don't want to do a season 2? Was Barry like, no, I'm good? Or were you guys like, let's go, season 2, bring it?
Well, to be honest, so I was doing a show called News with a Twist.
Right.
It was an evening entertainment show at the time. And so we filmed it like every day at like 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday.
That's when you started season 1, right?
No, okay. When I was filming season 1, I was at another morning station. I was at a station and I was doing morning. So I was getting up at 2:30 in the morning.
That's right. Okay.
Doing traffic and then filming, which first of all, let's just start there. So I was, and then I was like taking Adderall to try to like help me stay up. And then I'm like no wonder I was psycho. I mean, I was crazy. So that's when I was filming. But when it was airing, I was at the other station. And I would go Monday, I would be swollen
from the partying on the weekend.
we aired on Sunday night, and I was like, people were like, "Don't read the comments and don't listen." I'm like I could not get enough of Tamica's ratchet. She's a horrible friend. She's like, and I was, and so every Monday I would go to work, and I was just swollen, and they're like, but it's not really who you are. I'm like, but that's what they say. So I was just crying like all the time, and I was like, I can't do this again. And they think that like my marriage is bad, it's tragic. And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what, they don't know, and I can't convince someone of something else. I had this quote that I got really quick, and my quote that I stand by is, I'm everything you think I am, period. And I can't change it. So if you think I'm a bitch, I'm a bitch. It is what it is. I can't make everybody know me. I can't sit down with everybody and convince them I'm a nice person. Who cares? So I am everything you think I am. And when I realized that was my mantra, I was better with it. And I was like, let's go. And I didn't think season 2, I was like, okay, now I know. So I should be better for season 2. And the very first scene, this bitch orders a goddamn tea. And I'm like, girl, y'all are testing somebody.
And we're off.
It was the first scene of season 2. I mean, very first scene, like, get you walking in. Season 2, we're so excited. I sit down. They come. This is real as it can get. This is not even fake. And they were like, what do you want to drink? And I was like, oh, French 75. And I'm thinking she's going to order, and she said tea. And I was like, and I couldn't even say, if you go back to episode 1, season 2, I'm looking at her like this. Because I'm trying to find the eyes of like, tell me you're pregnant without telling me you're pregnant, because there's cameras right here. Are you pregnant? You have to be pregnant. Like, what?
And she had never said a word to you about anything prior to this. Nothing. Oh my God.
No.
So
and for her, she was just doing like the normal, like I'm pregnant. I want to make sure the baby's healthy, and then I'll just, and I'm just, but I'm, I want to know all the things. I want to know the moment you've conceived this baby.
Everything.
Like, I need you to have sex for a little and be like, I just created a baby,
Totally. Like, this is what time it was. This is what position we did. Tell me it, girl. This is what we do.
I was like, I swear, if you look back at the episode, I was like this. I was so upset after that scene. I called Rachel McKenzie after that, and I was just like, I think she's pregnant, and I think I'm not wrong. And I was like, and I just like didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out. Yeah.
But that's such a, like, you guys get together, we have drinks. Like peanut butter and jelly. Come on, this is what we do.
No, we wake up. No, we travel together. Bitch, we wake up like good morning, and there's a bottle of rosé. Like, we wake up to rosé.
Yeah. So then she's doing this and not telling you. So you're just like, I'm being like, how am I supposed to be calm about this? How, like, this is what's happening.
And in her mind, she's oh, well, we're just keeping it like, I'm just like, we're just filming. And I'm just going to like tell you how it happens. Like, that's what, and I'm thinking like, no, man, you gotta tell me. Like, look at me. Like, let me know. And I think there was that disconnect. And then I got mad because I was like, you're not telling me things. Oh, okay, cool. Well, now I don't even know how to even. And then it was the straw was like when they pulled us all in the alleyway and like, we're engaged. And I was like, I can't.
Oh yeah, in your costumes, right?
I mean, I literally am half naked, literally in the middle of the street. She's like, oh, we're getting engaged. Again, you call your friend, you call your best friend before you're like, hey, girl, guess what? I know I'm going to tell right tomorrow, but I'm telling you first, you know?
Do you think they were telling her?
I don't know. We really, honestly, in order for us to be like, I think we've kind of dibble-dabbled and try to figure out some stuff, but also we don't want to go back there to see it's like, it'll make us mad again. It's just like,
well, then it had been. So then you're filming and then you're watching back, and the first person she actually told was
Rachel.
Yes. So then
I don't even know. That just all that made me mad. You're bringing back memories. I have to go watch season 2 again because it was just the whole thing was just I was like I can't. So then I thought at some point, oh, well then like Jeff must know. Like surely, because I thought there was some conspiracy theory. Like, okay, I got it. Like they're creating this. I'm getting punked the whole season. Yeah. Everyone knows what's going on. And that's what I thought at one point. I got so mad. I was like, Jeff, you know what's going on. You know what's going on. You know what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on.
At his dinner when he freaked out.
Right. Because he found out she was pregnant. I'm like, no, don't tell me you didn't know. I was so mad.
So then after that, that's when you guys were done for a year. And at no point you were like.
She was so upset that I went to Jeff's house or their house when they were getting divorced, like for Thanksgiving, when Jeff was by himself, had no family.
Oh, right.
It was like Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving. And she was upset that I went there. And I'm like, girl, you have been lying to me and not telling things for a month and a half. And then that's when we had it out. And I was like, you're playing victim. Like, stop doing this. Like, I'm out. And she was like, but I want you to stand in my wedding. I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. I was like, I can't do all of this. This was so much. I'm like, no. But then and I was really conflicted about it. I was like, I don't want to stand in a wedding where I don't believe that this is really happening. It's just so weird to me. But then I was like,
but then wasn't it Barry? Wasn't it Barry who was like,
yeah, he's like, you're gonna regret not sitting next to her.
You're gonna regret it.
You're gonna regret it. I'm like,
and you're like, shut up. You don't know shit. Don't talk to me, husband. I don't want to hear your common sense and your total like realistic view of things.
Right. He's like, no, he's like, you're right, but you can't be like, it doesn't matter if you're right. Stand next to the girl. Oh my God. I'm like, it was one of those moments. So
and looking back, though,
season 2 was
aren't
just
you so happy you did looking back?
Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, and only honestly, it made Reagan happy. So yes. And I love the fact that like her babies get to see, TT stand next to mama and just like loving on her, like because I love that. Like I really do love that family. And I always want to support her. So it just made it just said, I support you. I love you. Whatever decision you make, however it ends or not, or if it's a forever thing, we're going to go through it together. And that's kind of what I had to learn. Like, it's not always about what I think. And if I'm always right, who cares? It's like, it was her life, her decision, and she wanted me next to her. So, it was important to her. Yeah.
And you guys are like great now, right? I mean, I see your videos together. I see everything. Like you guys made your way back.
Yes. Oh, of course. We were always going to make our way back. Yeah. Reagan and I are good. I text her. I mean, we text all day, today, all day. I'm going to see her tomorrow for dinner.
Oh,
so, I know.
I'm happy you guys made it back. Like that was a lot.
We did a birthday this year because I hate my birthday. For some reason, as much as I like attention, I hate my birthday. Really weird. But I was like, I'm not doing anything. And so she was like, okay, fair. How about we do a Friendsgiving? Because my birthday is the 22nd of November. So it's always it's the week of Thanksgiving. So she's like, how about we have, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, like a Friendsgiving, and we have all our friends come to the house. And I was like, okay. Like, I'm so dumb. I'm like, okay. It turned into my birthday party. She's like, bitch, it's your birthday. She has a whole cake. The cake is this big. She's so sweet. You know, she loves it. She made like my best dishes, my favorite dishes. Like, she's just so sweet. And she invited the whole family and all our friends, and it was just really cute.
So you guys, how is the cat like right now? If they're like, we're picking it back up again, is all the crew still there?
Jeff,
or people left?
I don't think anyone's talked to Jeff in years. Jeff is, I think, still in a wheelchair. So he's still, and that's the latest that I know. We were close until he got married, and then we don't talk. Okay.
At all?
Huh?
Nothing? You guys freaking ended sitting together. Like, here we are.
No. Yeah. Yeah. And then he the night that he got in the accident, which was, I don't know if you remember that scene. I was like, I don't want anything to happen to you. You know, I was really worried about him in this motorcycle. Cause I know Jeff is like a, you know,
daredevil. Yeah.
And what happened was my worst fear. And we all the entire cast went to the hospital when he got in the accident. Someone called, I don't know who, I remember that it was very weird, but someone called me first. And then Barry's with me, and then I called the whole cast, and we were all there. John Moody, Reagan came, we were all there. Justin came, everybody came, and we were all in the hospital. And then that's when we realized that he had, there was somebody else, like, trying to go back and see him. And we're like, who are you? And it ended up being his girlfriend that they ended up getting married. I think since then she's taken him away from his friends. I will say that. So we haven't spoken to Jeff in a while.
Oh, man. And that was a bad accident.
Yeah, it was a bad accident. I think he's still in a wheelchair. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and then John Moody is, John Moody is living his best life. He's in LA. He was just at Miami doing art, I think it was the art, that art deck, the art.
He's here in LA now?
He's in LA. He has this hot girlfriend. Like, she's so smoking hot.
Of course he does.
Like, they're just like stupid, like crazy beautiful, and like have all he has his art stuff. He's in LA though. He's been in LA for a while, about a couple of years. Yeah.
I should see where he is. I'm in LA.
Yeah. And then Justin, I see Justin more than everybody. Reagan and Justin, he's back and forth between Austin and here, and still his lawyer, still his work. He'll come over, he'll call, he's like, I'm in town. I'm like, all right, I made dinner. He'll stop by.
Wait, but then they're the baby, all of them, Kelsey, they're there in
They're
Austin.
in Austin. Mm-hmm. So he's back and forth between that and his job here. And then I never see Austin. Kelsey Friday because we're at a wedding, but I ever see her.
Why did they go to Austin?
She's from Austin. That's where she's from.
Oh, so they moved back to
to be with him.
Oh, but Mama isn't happy with her baby and now grandson being in Austin.
I think so. I mean, look, it's the age of 2023. We got to move differently. I think Daddy's fine. She doesn't say anything to me. She's never going to speak ill of anyone. Trust me. She's always going to keep, take the high road. But she seems fine.
Is she kind of like the Patricia?
Yes.
Of Southern? Yes. Got it. Yeah.
I'm secretly her favorite person in the world. So there's that.
Yes. Yeah, you are, baby. What?
I grew up with them. Like, she watched me grow up. Like, that's like my other auntie. Like, she's so great. And then who else was it? Barry and I still rolling around. I mean, these kids are growing up, and he's now like a volleyball dad. Like, he's the volleyball dad.
Oh, I love that.
He's so good at it. He's just like highly hyper focused on Rainey and her volleyball career. But everybody's just, growing up. And I'm just now having a job with, like Oprah. And so I have this new show, and I'm a matchmaker, and it's just been wild.
Okay. Back to Train Up. Okay. How in the hell, because you were saying you were ending it with the scene that didn't get viewed with the whole matchmaking thing. Yeah. How in the actual F are you going from like doing what you're doing in the news and this and that, and now all of a sudden you're matchmaking?
Right. Everybody's like, what? So I've always been a matchmaker literally my entire life without calling myself a matchmaker. Right. So I was like a professional dancer. I was, y'all know I was sensation, NFL cheerleader, I danced professionally. I danced for everybody in the world. And then I went to television. So I did that for 10 years. And it was this time last year. And I got a call from Oprah's team and Will Packer. And it was like, hey, we want to do a spinoff of this show it's like the #1 show on OWN. It's called Ready to Love. And it's about this. And it's about like couples. And we want to do a spinoff of this. That's just about the 4 women, like the all-stars, the women that didn't find love, moving to New Orleans and setting them up with like bachelors. And so like your name came in the mix because as a host, it started as like a host job, but that was like, hold on, this is my dream job because I'm actually a matchmaker. So can I be
in your pants?
I really like pitched this idea. I was like, okay, I could host this for sure, but I also want to be super highly involved in this because I want to matchmake these people. Like I want to like get in, like I want to like be in. So it was a lot of convincing, but yeah. And so it was a lot of interviews. It was like 4-month interview process. And this whole time I'm doing, local news and all that stuff. And I got the job or I got the call like March 31st last year. And they're like, all right, coming to New Orleans. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to like leave what I'm doing. I'm gonna have to like leave local news because there's no way I can do this and that and move on to this new phase of my life. So I was like, all right, I'm done. After all this work I did to get here, I'm done.
Now this is full time now.
It's what I'm doing full time as in what? Like I left local news to be a host, go national, do something bigger and better on a national platform. Right. So yes. So we filmed it this summer and it's airing now. And so, yeah. And I just got like last week, I think we are in negotiations because I'm gonna do the after show for the original Ready to Love series. So the Ready to Love series is on like season 10 and that comes out that starts next week. So I'm going to do the after show for that. So I'm still around, like I'm still doing things and we'll see. But yeah, that's what, I literally am a matchmaker, but I just decided, I was like, okay, I'll just say it now because I've actually been doing this for so long. Cause I can call it out. I know I see it. I can match people. I just know what I'm doing. I just know people. So it's easy for me. I've always been this way. I've married off so many people. Yeah.
Wait, what the hell? Can you imagine you get a call literally about the thing that you love and would always love? Like, it wasn't about like sports. It wasn't about fashion. It wasn't about like just the city.
Do this. Yeah. I was like, wait. And so I was on the phone with like my manager because it was so, and I remember her, she's on the video call, but she's taking notes and her head's kind of down and she's like just taking all the notes. And when they said like, and as a host of it, it's kind of like a matchmaking thing. And she looks up and she's like, wait, did you say matchmaking? Because not only does she match me, just her and her husband, which I did. She's like, no. That is her life. Like if Tamica could matchmake anybody, that would be her dream job. I was like, this is my dream job. So I was only supposed to be a host, but I'm like, no, I got this.
We're taking this another level. Okay.
I was like, I'll be in their direction. I'll be in their life. And so like in the episodes, they only show so much. And I sit with these women for hours. And they had my number. We would text. I went in, like they were like my best friends. Like they were like my sisters. And I was like their aunt. I was making sure they were going to be okay. And we had to go deep into their life. And like, there's a lot of tears and I had to tell them a lot about themselves. They didn't want to hear, but if you want to find love, you got to, because a lot, they were like, what, 35 to 44. So, we're talking about like, they've been through some stuff and like, relationships and like, and you're getting people that have been through maybe second marriages and kids are involved. So I'm like, and why am I still single? I'm like, I'm going to tell you why you're so single. And we had to go there. So yeah. It was a lot.
But how did you find the men for them?
Well, one, a lot of it was casting, right? So there was a lot of like, so I had so many to pick from, right? Because you can, you can only pick from who's wants to be on the show,
right? Totally.
So yes, and and it was just, I already knew. Once I got to know the women, and I sat there for like hours and talked to these women, and I knew exactly what they needed, what they had to like work through. What they would, one girl was like, I am not dating a man with kids, at all. And I was like, okay, well, stop. Let's just
You're
stop
40.
there.
Yeah, you're in your 40s, dude. Come on.
Let's stop. That's just not realistic. Anyway.
Wait a minute. So when you meet Reese, back to this matchmaking, were you like,
I already know, but it's fine.
F to the no, you knew. Even though they had dated prior.
I always know. But see, here's the deal. My loyalty was not with, okay, so like people are like, why did you do the same thing you did with Justin? And I'm like, my loyalty isn't like I grew up with Justin. Justin's like a little brother to me. And Regan was, my best friend of sorts. So I'm like, my loyalty is with Justin. So when Justin's telling me like, I don't know if she's the one, I'm going in on him. I'm trying to break this whole thing down because I'm invested into Justin, right? With Regan, there was no, like, I didn't think he was going to harm her. I didn't think Reese was in it. Reese was like, that's my woman. I'm obsessed with her. I'm laser focused. Like the things I knew and saw that probably wouldn't last, it didn't matter. So, and there was nothing I could tell Regan to change her mind.
That would have changed it. They were already in it by the time you really knew.
No, it wasn't going to happen. There was nothing to say.
But do you think, because knowing how you are in the matchmaking and like all this, do you think she kind of kept it on the down low because there was a small chance that she knew you would be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Probably so. Maybe so. No, I can see where that's like, well, I know Tamica's not going to approve, so I'm going to keep this as far away and I'm just going to push it on at the last minute. Yeah.
But now is she like, help me, find me a man?
It's funny because I don't even think it's that like she's going through it for sure, right? Like it's a real like it's a bad. The whole thing is just like when kids are involved and there's divorce involved. But they really do have a fine relationship. Reese is. If I saw Reese standing here, I'd give him a hug and I'd give him a kiss and say I love you. I don't think it's not like. Dun dun, like he's around or we can't. It's not ugly. It's not an ugly divorce. It's just we're not supposed to be together.
But it's still hard as shit. No matter what the reason. I mean, bad reasons can make it worse. But like it's for sure. Hard, you know.
Yeah.
I felt it. I was like, "Don't cry, Melissa. Don't cry, Melissa." Because I'm just like putting my. But like to me, I'm like, I'm married. I have 2 small babies. Like I've been through the divorce and like all these emotions are, I say this, I always say I'd probably be more popular with my podcast or as a host if I was like going in like the, gotcha. And like, what am I going to do and say and ask for like the page 6 articles? Like a lot of people play like that, which I'm sure is why a lot of others are scared to do interviews because people are just dirty and they're messy and they're like assholes.
Yeah.
Like I want to be like,
you're like, I'm crying here.
I'm like, oh my God, my producer was like on watching in the back and I'm like, Melissa, don't be sad. Like get it together. And my whole face, I'm just like, because she was like in it. Like you could feel it wasn't just like, her saying
and it's probably the first time she like talked about all of it because she really hasn't talked about all she especially publicly or not publicly, but she hasn't talked about any of it. Like I saw it, I was like, she went there. I was like, okay, she went there.
Well, that's even what I was reality blurb was like, I loved the interview. You guys were really good. And 2, especially because she's been so hush hush about this divorce. Like we all loved the show. We all across the board. Even when my friend was like, you got to get people on your podcast from Southern Charm, New Orleans. And I'm like, but I'm not. So can we move on? I'm not watching it. It's not for me. Right. You know, it was the same thing with Family Karma. I was like, I'm not watching you. I've seen Shaw's. I get it. Like, I don't need that. I don't have the time for that. And then I was having someone on from Family Karma. Same thing. I was like, this show is dope. You guys, like everybody. Hello, reality blurb. Yeah. They cover everybody. And look at them. They're like, we love this show. We love these girls.
Well, we love doing it. We love each other. And I think honestly, the only reason why it was such a good show and everybody loved it is because it was real. It was real friendship. The group was real. There was nobody that came in that was like, you know how they have like, it's makeshift friends or a friend of, and but they're a good
totally.
cast.
It just plops together.
No, it was like we were real, and it was we were all so different. It was like you know, white girl, black girl, then it was like a white guy and a black guy, and then there was like this mix, and it was all of what New Orleans is. We're this gumbo of people in the city, and it was fascinating to watch. It's like, so it's not all black cast, it's not all white cast. It's like this mixed cast. It's women and men. And they're really our friends. It's not like something that's, you know, I saw you last week at the lunch. Hi. You know, it's like, I mean, Reagan and I mean, we go back 15 years. I knocked on her door and then there was dogs. But I hated her. We hate each other in the beginning. We met. Like, I knocked on her door the first time I met Reagan. We had to go to a cocktail party over there by our house. I knock on the door. I hear dogs. Like, I hear 14 dogs in her house. And she opens the door and I saw like horse dog. And I went, I don't do dogs. And she says, well, you're at the wrong house. And I went, me, I was like, that's what Barry says. Barry's like, you gotta clap back at me. You gotta go in and get Tamica. And I'm like, I love when people like just stand up to me and just be like, boom. And then I'm like automatically like, oh my God, I think I love you. Like it was just automatic.
I hate you, but I love you.
I was like, I hate you. I was like, no, I'm at the right house. I was like, I need better. I was allergic to dogs. That's what I am. And she was like, okay, sure you are. I was like, no, I'm serious.
This is the first time you guys met.
Very
Did
first
she give
time.
You Benadryl?
No, she literally opened the door and I went, I don't do dogs. And she said, well, then you're at the wrong house.
That is the great. She didn't tell me that.
That's our funniest story ever.
Listen, that is so perfect for your relationship.
But wait, I gotta tell you how we became friends, which is even a better story. Better story was, so we didn't like each other. We had a mutual friend Heidi, our mutual friend. And so I'm coaching the NFL cheerleaders at this point. So I'm on the field, my headset, and it was like I think it was like an alumni something. So Jeff and Reagan were on the field too, like pre-game, right? So she's on the field, I'm on the field with our mutual friend, and I see her. Now, mind you, we had like this all happened like, I'm talking like a year, but you know, within the year, like I don't fuck with Reagan. Like I don't like that girl. She's a bitch. She don't like Tamica. And so Heidi comes up and we take a picture together. She's like, let's take a picture. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, here it goes. Picture. And so this was like right when like edit apps were happening, like Facetune and stuff, like right in the beginning of it. And we look at the picture and she's like, oh, I feel fat. And I said, oh girl, I'll fix you. Don't worry about it. I said, I got you. Don't worry about it. And I fixed me. I fixed her. I fixed this little app. And I sent it to her. I said, what's your phone number? And I sent her and she literally says, now, see, she's like, you're a good friend. Like, only good friends will make somebody look this good. And I was like,
that is, I mean, could you script a better first time meeting and in a better first time, like, okay,
right.
We actually.
I edited your photos right. Like, she's like, bitch, you're right. You know what? Real friends edit it the right way. Because you know, friends are only like, you only do yourself. You like forget the rest of the pictures.
Totally.
She's like, you love me. You actually made me look skinny. And like, I was like, girl, I edited everybody. We all looked jank that day. It was so funny. But I was like,
and so from then on, you guys were. From then on,
I think my daughter, Rainey, was in the suite because we walked up to the suite. We're all in the suite. I think Barry was in the suite with her. And my daughter, and Rainey was like, I don't even remember how old she was, maybe 4 or 5 at this point. I have no idea. And she was wearing this, Reagan must have been wearing this. It was like a shirt or something. And Rainey, she was like, is this a jumpsuit? She's like, you're beautiful. And she was just like, I love your daughter. And then you had fixed the picture. And it was just like, and so, I mean, that was it. The end.
Listen, what brings women together more than a good adjustment on a picture? Okay. I mean, it's love at first Facetune.
Yes. The end. Love at first fix. Love at first fix. That's it. That should be that's a show. That's a show.
You know what? That makes me like love as much as I loved like watching the show and then talking to her and getting like the real and then talking to you and getting the real and then knowing that it just ties it.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect like fucked up bow, like the greatest, ugliest bow, like to the sweet love story that you ever hear.
It's so funny. And I really wish, the show would come back or have more. It was just because I'm telling you, we could do 25 seasons because we really do go hard. Like this is not a joke. We really are friends, and what they show is what we really do. So it was so effortless for us to like throw a party, do a thing, because we just do this all the time. It's just what we do, you know.
I'm gonna come down and hang out
with
you. I'm telling
Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is early. You should come in for Mardi Gras. It's like soon. It's early this year.
When is that?
I'm a if this is February, we ride February 3rd is our ride. So I'm a float lieutenant, which means I'm the captain of my float, right? So I'm the only as all-female float in this crew of Legion of Mars. So I'm the only float that has females. All the guys are like, we like Tamica's float. I'm like, I'm sure you do. We have the hottest women on the float.
I'm sure you do, buddy.
Right. So I have all-female float, and we ride Legion of Mars, and it's just like a whole day. We do a luncheon before, and we have the ball. My daughter's a maid this year, so she has her gown and her maid. You know, it's a whole like the pageantry of it. It's so New Orleans. It's so like, that's what I'm saying. Like this stuff really happens. Like this is not like just for a show. Like in real life, like this is how happening again. So
I need to be there. How do you get tickets?
Yeah. It's not tickets. I'm gonna send you a link. I'll send you a link. It's my float. I'll send you a link. Remember the first episode when I was like passed out drunk and I was kept falling? That's the parade.
I'm there. Sign me up. Mama needs a pass out drunk in the middle of Mardi Gras. Desperate.
It's so safe because you're on the float with all women and you're like, I can be whoever. And you have like a mask on. You kind of like wear a costume so like nobody knows who you are. But then they give me a microphone and I'm all like, Tamica Link. It's tragic. But it's so much fun. So much fun. So much fun.
I need to be there. When Reagan and I were talking, I literally was like getting this bitch on the DM, and I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, like, get back. Don't like avoid me. Get you back to me right now. I'm flying down there. I haven't met Tamica yet, but like, I was so ready to be there. I'm like,
I'm gonna send you a link, and you have to come experience. That's the only way to experience Mardi Gras. You're gonna die. Like you're gonna die. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna revive you. You're gonna be fine. We're gonna get you an IV the next day. You'll be fine, and it'll be great.
My husband's like, go. Like he goes on guys trips. Like I don't have friends here. It's like they're all crazy bitches. And you know how it is when you're older. It's not like you just like make friends, right? And especially like people like us that were like a lot.
Yeah. It's all females. They're so much fun. It's like the best part. Barry is like, he just drops me off. I'm telling you, it's so easy. It's so easy. I'm going to give you all information. Okay.
I'm telling you, I will be there. And by the way, you will be popping my cherries in so many ways. I've never done parade. I've never done one.
Do what? You done Jello shots?
Oh, my mom had them for Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like,
she's a Jello shots girl.
Okay,
Can I tell you this?
Because you can't like be on a float like trying to have a cocktail. So it's like you just gotta
suck it out.
I'm throwing them out. It's bad.
My mom's always like, there's an art to it, like the way you move your tongue.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta like, I know you gotta like finger it and suck it. It's so nasty.
It's really like sexual in a way, but it gets you drunk. So I'm like, that's cool. It gets me drunk. So my nanny, right? She never goes anywhere. And she's like, the first time in 4 years, my husband and I are gonna go. Can I take a vacation? I'm like, yes. And she's like, we're going back to our second home. And I was like, you have another home? She's like, no, but in my heart. And I'm like, where? She goes, New Orleans. And I was just had Reagan on, and she was like, get the name of Reagan's jewelry store. I'll go there and buy some of her jewelry.
Yeah.
Like, she's obsessed with New Orleans, went there for a week, got back, and she's like, I can't drink, I can't eat. Like, I need to go on a detox.
Oh, girl, you're going to be like, my other thing I say is when you land in New Orleans, you'll experience New Orleans, and then you'll go home, you'll be like, what just happened? And it's like, New Orleans happened. It literally gets in. It's the most beautiful, romantic, fun, like soulful culture. It's everything. Like the people here are so freaking great. Like everybody's so great. It's just, and especially around Mardi Gras, everybody's like Saint season and Mardi Gras, everybody's just so happy. Summertime, you need to go because it's hot and it's hell and it's just bad. But like Mardi Gras is the best. Saint season is the best. Everybody's just, it's just the best. It's like,
I'm coming. No, you don't understand. I'm like, I want to be there right now. I'm like soaking it up. Like I'm sipping it, the booze, the jello shots out already.
Videos, just to like, and this year's theme is like, we're like G.I. Jane, because the Legion of Mars is like all veterans, Army, Navy, Purple Hearts, and then first responders. So like our parade route is for a good cause. So it's like but like, then there's Tamica's float, and there's like no rhyme or reason other than just like, it's fearless females in the city. So it's all of our it's like all
hot
of the
chicks.
It's all that. It's like the fearless, most best women in the city, and we have so much fun. I mean, we have a DJ on the floor.
Ready.
DJ, you better back that ass up. You better. I mean, we go.
I'm there.
Yes.
I'm telling you. You better like, I'm serious. I was ready to walk there from LA after Reagan. Now I'm like, it's fucking on.
We're going to get off the phone. I'm going to send you all the stuff. You're going to be like, you're coming.
I'm coming. Tell Reagan.
And Reagan always stands next to me because I'm always position one. She'll stand next to me. We'll throw you on top too. You got to be right on top of us. And she'll stand. And we just, I mean, it's so much. And they're like, and you're like a rock star. They're like, they want all the beads. They want whatever you have, like all the, they're just like, they'll like show you titties or pulling pants. They're doing whatever.
I was going to say, screw the beads. I'm just going to be going like this the whole time. I'm living my best life. I'm a mom. I'm showing my tits. Like, let's go. Make my babies proud.
This is the whole city gets like that. Like everybody, like no one judges. It's whatever. It's what happens. It's like, it's carnival. It's Mardi Gras. It's so much fun. So much fun.
I am so in love with you and Reagan. I cannot even. This is why I was like, okay, I don't give a fuck anymore. Who's sick? Who's throwing up?
I know. You're like, get on here.
I'm like, we're doing this. And I just like, I'm so happy that I got to like talk to Reagan. And then through that, I was like even more pressed to like be a lunatic on you and like do this because it's just, I don't know. You're right. Like you feel a difference. I always thought you were dope because I'm loud and I'm like this too. But like you do see a difference, right? When you're just like the one-on-one like this. And it just, what a way to end my year.
Well. But you're good at what you do. And that's why you're so successful at what you're doing. So you're a sweetheart. You're easy to talk to. And that's why you have to come down. I wouldn't be off. Look, I would not invite your
I know you would not. I know you would not. So for me, I'm like, oh my God. I won't bring any dogs. I won't be pregnant. And I won't be heading into a new relationship that I'm not telling you.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. That's so funny. I love it.
We're good. This was the best. The best.
Oh, thank you. It was so much fun.
So listen, I already sent you, before we started, I sent you my cell phone number. So please use it now every second of every day because it is fucking on like Donkey Kong on February. I'm coming down to see your guys' ass.
You have to. I'm sending you the whole link right after this. Yes.
This was the best. Please tell Barry and the kids I said hello, and that they have the best mom and the best wife.
He's probably here. He'll come and say hi. I'm gonna say hi.
Duh.
Wait, let me.
Duh.
He was like right at the door. He's psycho.
He's probably like, I heard showing tits. Who is this? Mardi Gras. Barry. Dude, I've just taken your wife for like the whole day, running our mouths. Listen.
That's what she does. She loves people. Good people.
I told her to come down and ride on our float. She has to come down and ride. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of fun.
I've never been. I love to travel. I've never been to New Orleans. Like ever, never once. Never. So, and I was just saying that my nanny never leaves. She doesn't even like to go to dinner. She's scared of like getting any sickness or anything. And she's like, hey, can I take a vacation for like a week? I'm like, sure. She's like, I'm going to my second home. Like, bitch, you have a second home? And she's like, no, like my second home in my heart, New Orleans. And she's like, when we save enough money, I'm getting a place in New Orleans. Like, that's how special it is to me.
Where are you from?
It was in LA.
I'm in LA. Yeah. But I'm from Ohio. So I'm not like all these LA. I'm not like all these LA people. Like I'm not like that. I just like live here currently.
She's like, cool.
I'm like cool and down to earth and all that shit. But I just.
Oh, okay. Rain's here too. My Rain's Baines.
What?
I mean, so she has to like.
Yeah, we have to hit the highway, but it was nice to meet you.
Hey, listen, you're gonna see me, baby, very soon. Okay.
Okay.
Soon.
Come on
I'm
down.
coming down. It
Come
was
down.
so nice to meet you, Barry.
So
Okay,
nice to meet you,
listen.
Melissa.